So I made the Fire Emblem Shadows of Valentia tier list, and it was pretty fun, to be honest. I was thinking about making a Fire Emblem Fates, and then going from Fates to Awakening, but unfortunately I don't think I've seen every character in both games. Like, I've seen the majority in Fates, but I didn't begin anywhere in Birthright or Revelations, so I haven't seen the child units and that kind of stuff. Anyways, Fire Emblem Three Houses. Honestly, this game I played a lot. I played every route except for Silver Snow, but I've seen a lot of the story, and I do want to say this tier list does include post time skip units. Am I going to include the post time skip units? Most likely not, unless they have like a major change. For example, compare pre time skip Marianne to post time skip Marianne. Big difference, right? Anyways, so let's begin the list. If I were to meet a character in real life in a hypothetical setting, would I get along with them? So, Fire Emblem Echoes, I really love Alm, I really love Berkut, I really love Celica, but none of them made it to S tier despite the fact I really like them. So yeah, we're gonna take that same approach. Byleth, it's hard for me to hate him, it's hard for me to like him. He does nothing. His voice actor is pretty nice, but that's all I'll give to him. So assuming Zachary, or Zach, his voice actor, is next to him in real life, what am I gonna talk about? Nothing. Plus, isn't Byleth illiterate? So yeah, I don't know. How will I get along with Byleth? They don't talk, they don't express emotions much. Like, if you played Fire Emblem Three Houses, you're gonna see all your replies are like one-line replies, and nothing I hate more in a WhatsApp chat or like an Instagram chat or an in real life chat where you're just telling someone something and they say one line, boom, that's the entire conversation with them. Alright, next up, Edelgard. Now, I'm a fan of fuck Edelgard, right? I do not like Edelgard's actions in game, but I will admit that if I were to meet her in a real life setting, assuming she's not like the filthy rich type, maybe it's possible we could get along. Now, if she were a student, I would definitely think she's an asshole, because one thing that usually unnerves me is when people group together in an annoying fashion. And who the fuck stalks Edelgard? None other than her retainer. So Hubert F tier, and all because of Hubert, Edelgard goes to E tier. I am not going anywhere near Edelgard, since she's always gonna be with Hubert or Byleth, and that I do not like. Next up is Dmitry. So I'm gonna take the approach, and I'm gonna put Dmitry in S tier. I really like him, right? But then let's look at what makes him go down. Dmitry, number one. He doesn't listen to the people close to him. He's always... I'm not sure why. Like, pre-time skip, at the start of the story, he sounds like a caring, understanding dude, which way later into the game, you finally see that, yes, all this time, he has been paying attention. But in the pre-time skip, he's always... I'm not sure why. He doesn't tell everyone around him how he feels. He's always closed up, and I'm not sure. Is he playing victim? Like, yes, he is a victim of a big tragedy. His father died, I know that. But I don't know, that lowers him to A tier. And then next up is Dmitry. In a real life setting would probably be rich, and he'd probably have a lot of people around him, right? And that lowers him to B tier. The same thing as Alm in Shadows of Valentia. Dmitry is gonna have people around him, and the same people I'm probably not going to get along with. It's the same reason why Edelgard is in E tier. It's because she's either with Byleth or she's with the Hubert. And if she's alone, she can offer constructive criticism, but that's the problem. Edelgard doesn't even invest her time into learning about others. She's just in her own world where she just sees people and says, no, you've been through bad times? No, I've been through worse. I feel like Edelgard invalidates everyone. That moves her to F tier, actually. Damn, Dimitri's so strong he moved Edelgard down. Amazing. Alright, next up is Claude. Now, Claude, good sense of humor. For the same reasons as Dmitry, he falls to B tier. But then, what else is there, actually? Yeah, Claude, as much as he talks about friendships and keeping close ties, I don't know. He never feels like he actually closed that gap. He doesn't feel like, a friend who you can tell everything. As far as I'm aware, in the introduction of the game, they say, oh my god, Claude is this tactician who knows a lot of secrets and knows how to use gimmicks and tricks. But the only time you see him use gimmicks and tricks is the post-time skip after he's already with Byleth. That moves him down to C tier because I feel like his reputation and his actual personality do not mesh well with his actions at all. A schemer is always viewed in a negative light. How come someone who's dubbed a schemer is a good guy? That just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, next up is Ferdinand. B tier for the same reasons as Dmitry, except I feel like... Actually, never mind. Ferdinand is always... what? Yeah, he doesn't tolerate assholes around him, and he's not secretive. I feel like if Ferdinand were, like, a student, I'd hate him, because... Jesus fuck, I didn't do the homework. Stop annoying me about the homework. Stop reminding the teacher about the homework. But if you ignore academic shit, I feel like Ferdinand, in general, would be a great friend. He'd probably remember a lot of stuff. He'd probably stay loyal for a very long time. He'd probably push you to do what you actually want to do. I feel like he'd ask you, what are your goals and dreams in this life? And if you don't give him a real answer, he's gonna get angry and probably set you straight. I feel like if Ferdinand were your friend and you told him, hey, I want to do this, but I'm not finding motivation, he's gonna be like, you know what? Let's both do it. And I find that reassuring. Actually, let's move him up to S tier. Because Ferdinand always keeps himself known. I feel like if Ferdinand was anywhere near me, I'd know that he's there because he's so loud and in a good way, not in a bad way. Next up is Linhardt. Most likely an introvert who I'll never see in real life except for a few days. And when I do see him, if I do not have the same interests as him, then it's tough. Very tough. As a matter of fact, the things Linhardt has an interest in are usually short-lived. So he's gonna like something for like 1 year and then move on. Which can be a good thing or a bad thing. If you consistently have the same interests, I'd put him in C tier. But since Linhardt is always, sleeping, he's always changing hobbies, he's always disinterested in people. I feel like he wouldn't put any effort to get to know me, which will make it very hard for me to know him. So I'm gonna put him in D tier. At the very least, he can take constructive criticism, so that's like a big plus in my opinion. Next up is Caspar. So you remember everything I said about Ferdinand? Yeah, I think Caspar is like, he does the same things except in a bad way. He's loud, but the annoying kind of Loud. He's always fishing for fights. His competitiveness isn't like, the type to boost everyone. He's more like, no, I want to prove that I'm the stronger one. And yeah, I'm not gonna hang out next to Caspar because, if I hang out around him, two things are gonna happen. A, he's gonna get into a fight and I have to stop the fight. B, a fight happens, I leave, and then he's like, why did you leave? I don't see anywhere. I don't see any situation where it happens. Like, a situation where this scenario doesn't happen. Anyways, next up is Bernadetta. So, Bernadetta. F tier, because I'll never see her. But she's a writer, so that lower... she's a writer, right? I love writing. I love stories. We could probably talk about that. Then she goes to D tier because she's an artist. I love art, alright? Then she goes to C tier because she's good with music. And I like me some music, alright? And then she goes to B tier because... hear me out. Hear me out. Gardening isn't a bad hobby. I like it. And then she goes to A tier because... she remembers long-term friendships in a good way. Like, if you saw her relationship with Yuri, she still remembers him, she still values him, she still thinks about him. And I think if you were a friend with Bernadetta, even though you might not talk every day, she'd still remember you, she'd still make an effort to talk to you every now and then. You do see her in some supports trying to talk to people, and yeah, I feel like that would imply she's not the introvert everyone thinks she is. And then next up, if she was in social media, man, I want to be in a Discord call with Bernadetta. I want to be in a fucking Instagram chat with Bernadetta. She sounds like the type of person who's gonna be online 24/7, and I dare say I want to see her in a Call of Duty lobby. That would just corrupt her entirely. Next up is Dorothea. Dorothea, she's a songstress. She's probably gonna have a lot of creepy dudes next to her 24/7, and I don't mean like she's gonna keep them. I'm saying that a lot of people are gonna approach her, and I do not tolerate assholes, so what are the odds I tolerate these people? Very low chance, but do I blame Dorothea? No, she's not picky. She comes from a interesting background. She has a lot of things to talk about, which is interesting. She's definitely not like certain characters who just say 2 to 3 lines and then boom, that's the entire conversation. So Dorothea, as much as I want to put her in A or B tier, I feel like the people she admires are shit, namely this one. And yeah, I'm gonna keep her in C tier. Because, yeah, the people around her and the people she admires, I feel like I do not mesh well with those people. Next up is Petra. Petra. You know, I cannot hate someone who's basically an outsider, right? She's foreign, she's from Bridget, or whatever her homeland is, and she makes a lot of funny situations happen. Assuming we have shared interests, she's definitely fun to be around. I feel like if I saw her hunting in real life, that would also be interesting. Maybe she's gonna even open a door to a new hobby. And yeah, there's just something about communicating with foreign people that makes it interesting. Now, obviously, if I talked my mother language with Petra, that would be the opposite of fun. See, that's the thing. I'm looking at it in the context we're talking English. If I had to talk my hometown language, Jesus Christ, put Petra in F tier, I would avoid her as best as I can. But otherwise, assuming we're talking English, yeah, that is an A tier for sure. Next up is Didu. I know I've been bashing Byleth because he says 1 to 2 lines every conversation, but Didu doesn't bother you. Didu always respects your privacy. Didu sees people for what they are. Didu has gone through a lot, so he doesn't complain. Didu, his silence is gold. His silence means something. He's open to criticism, and he's open to criticize if you allow him. He's very logical, and that I admire. A tier for me. Plus he gardens. He gardens and he cooks. Never mind, that's an S tier for me. Next up is Felix. Felix, competitive guy, but he wants to push himself, not others. He's a verbal abuser. Look, as much as I laugh in supports with Felix, he's probably a horrible, horrible friend. Let's put him at the bottom of F tier. Next up is Ash. He can cook, he can do random bullshit, he can lockpick. Yes, he's nice in general, but he's not someone I want to learn more about him. Which is very in character. He's like, he feels excluded from the group, and he never includes himself. Which, I mean, I guess, do what you want. I don't feel like Ash wants to, after you reach a certain point of friendship, I don't think he wants to go further, so I'm gonna keep him in D tier for now. It's not like the D tier is bad. The real bad tiers are E and F. Anyways, next up is Sylvain. Sylvain, he's probably gonna make a lot, and I mean a lot of problems. Like, again, I really love this character. He's gonna make me laugh in real life so damn much. And I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be best friends with him. I'm just saying I want all the drama surrounding Sylvain. I want to hear all the shit going around in his life. Like, maybe I'm not gonna be his best friend, but I definitely won't be, an enemy. Sure, if I was his best friend, I'd have to, teach him that, hey, your behavior is wrong, you should fix yourself. I already have a friend like that, and he's still one of my best friends, so yeah, I'm gonna keep Sylvain in an A tier. He's definitely someone I would enjoy being around, but I definitely don't want to be associated with him. Next up is Mercedes. So recently I broke something and I had to fix it. It was like I needed to sew it all over again. So I'm like, characters who can sew, characters who can, knit together stuff, which Bernadetta can. Mercedes can do it as well. She's kind in general. I think she gossips here and there, which is like very nice. She's very considerate. Plus, she can cook. A tier. I would put her in S tier, but I don't think she'd listen to half the stuff I'd say. Actually, never mind. We're moving her up to S tier. Mainly because she tells ghost stories. Who doesn't like people who tell ghost stories? She's definitely the one who's gonna make the mood in a party. Next up is Annette. Annette, very clumsy, which isn't a bad thing in my opinion. She can sing, but it's not like, I understand Annette, she doesn't want to sing in front of others, but she did her voice actor is the voice actress that voiced the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate opening title screen or whatever. So her voice definitely has the potential. Am I gonna befriend a character just for the voice? No, it's also gonna be about, she has daddy issues, and I like listening to those kind of problems. My relationship with my father hasn't been that great, so I would definitely be there for her just to listen, and maybe if I can help, I would help her. But she's also a bad cook. Yeah, I think I would be around Annette just to prevent her from destroying everyone around her. Next up is Ingrid. Look, as much as people shit on Ingrid for being racist, as much as people shit on Ingrid for, punching Sylvain or resorting to physical stuff, I don't think she's that bad, actually. I feel like everyone just saw one support and boom, they called her something. Like, especially with the do. People call Ingrid racist because of her C support with the do, but they never saw past the C support. Plus, no one actually talks about the do. I feel like most of them just say, black character. That's it. I swear, the fan base is more racist than actual racism. So, Ingrid Ester, like, she has a lot of traits and qualities I like, which is, if you have a hobby or an interest, she's gonna push herself and you opposite to fucking Felix, who's probably gonna verbally abuse you, and he's gonna make you feel bad every time. And sure, he's gonna look for a rival, and if he sees you as a rival, if you're not competitive every day, boom, he just leaves you. Unlike Ingrid, who's probably gonna stay for a long time, probably gonna wish you do better, probably gonna encourage you, probably gonna give you tips, and if you do leave this certain field or hobby, she understands that. So I'm gonna keep her in S tier. Next up is Lawrence. See, I do not like Lawrence. Actually, I like his post-time skip, but pre-time skip here. This one is kind of interesting because I want to say he's a good person with good intentions, but honestly, his actions aren't the brightest. Plus, isn't he like creepy with men? I'm gonna keep him in E tier. I'm gonna be nice with him, but I don't think I want to be friends with him. At least not before post-time skip. Next up is Raphael Glutton. I'm sorry, I cannot handle gluttons. Like, yes, I can. Now, again, I'm not fat phobic. I do not hate fat people solely for the fact they're fat. Plus, Raphael is more like a muscular man. I'm not intimidated by that. I'm just saying, I do not like gluttons. Gluttony in general is just a trait I look down on. Raphael is nice though, so damn, the website crashed. Alright, I'm gonna put him in D tier. He's nice, so I think it's only fair I be nice back to him. Next up is Ignatz. He's nice, he's a painter. He's nerdy. I'm gonna put him in C tier. But yeah, he's nice. Yeah, he worries about the future a lot, but the people he associates himself with, the fact he doesn't stand up for himself until post-time skip, I'm gonna put him in D tier. Next up is Lysethia. Now, again, Lysethia I liked in the story, kind of, maybe. I mean, she's a top tier unit, that's for sure, but she's an asshole. Oh. I'm putting her in F, man. I do not tolerate assholes like Lysethia. Like, post-time skip is a different story, but pre-time skip, I do not want to get along with her. Next up is Hilda. Hilda. She uses her charms on men to make them do her own work. She's lazy, she's this, she's that. She does gossip about drama. Actually, never mind, I'm putting her in D tier. If you know anything about me, I love drama. So yeah, as long as the drama isn't revolved around me, I feel like Hilda, she's the go-to drama girl. Plus, if you're around Hilda, her brother gets all kinds of messed up. So, Jesus. I really hate these ads, man. No, Google, I don't want to send feedback. Why this ad? Jesus, just close it. Anyways, I can't even close this ad. Anyways, Hilda, go-to drama girl. Oh no, did I move someone? Who did I move? I'm gonna hope I didn't move someone. Actually, I saw that. Was Linhardt always in here? Yeah, I think this is correct. Anyways, next up, Leonie. Look, everyone is like Geralt. But Geralt isn't my father. And as far as I'm aware, anyone who annoys Byleth is good in my book, so I'm gonna put her in D tier. She recycles, she doesn't complain. There was this one time in the game where I invited her to eat lunch, right? And I accidentally picked food she doesn't like. I expected her to complain like a lot of the other characters, but surprisingly, she didn't complain, and she was like, I'm thankful for any food. So that's a D tier for me. Next up is Marianne. You're a sad girl. Like, she doesn't even want to open up to people, and she won't open up in general. She doesn't want anyone around her, and she's not gonna put any effort to talk with those people. Now, unless you have a horse, I'm sorry, she will not go anywhere near you. Next up is Seteth. Seteth, I love this character. I'd probably listen to him and see his fables and stories and that kind of stuff, but I don't feel like he's someone who'd open up to you. He's definitely like that one person's dad who you want to hang out with, but you know, he's a dad, he's way above your age, and it's like, man, if I make any joke, this man won't get it. So yeah, as long as it's about serious matters, I feel like Seteth would be just a good friend to have nearby in general. Next up is Flame. Everyone talks fish, fish, fish. She's secretive because of her father, I guess. I mean, similar to Annette, I would listen to her daddy issues, except Seteth is present. Annette's father isn't present, so yeah. Let's just put Gilbert in F tier. If I saw Annette, I'd just assume Gilbert is a bad person in general. Which I like Gilbert as a character, but yeah, he's an F tier in terms of real life. Hanneman, I want to put him in E tier. We just don't have the same interests, and I don't think he's the Bill Nye. If he was a Bill Nye, I would put him in D tier, just because I'm gonna, watch videos about him. But yeah, he's our science guy. Let's leave him in D tier. Next up is Manuela. Now, this might sound a little fucked up. This might sound very weird as a matter of fact, but I do appreciate some anime titties, and recently Fire Emblem Heroes gave us a bunny girl, Manuela. Listen, I'm just saying, if Manuela made a fucking concert in that bunny suit, I am there 100% D tier. Next up is Aloise. Listen, dad jokes, funny, loyal S tier. I would definitely want to be long-term friends with this guy. He's just so funny and he's a goofball. I like Aloise. I can't find anything bad to say about him. Next up is Catherine. Catherine. Oh, go down, man. Catherine is dumb. Her loyalty is very misplaced. She's not open to constructive criticism. She always sees herself as the correct one. I'm gonna put her in F tier. Next up is Shamir. She doesn't talk a lot, but she's probably interesting. But she's a mercenary. I'm gonna put her in E tier mainly because what are the odds you run into her in real life? Next up is Cyril. Honestly, I don't remember much about pre-time skip Cyril. I mean, he's a slave. Like, let's just put that out of the way. He's just a straight up slave, right? Damn, is that really all I know about him? I mean, he's not that funny. A lot of people hate Cyril, but I feel like he develops a lot. I actually agree with his point of view, and he's not a bad unit at all. I mean, but that's post-time skip. What is pre-time skip? I feel like I'd be nice with Cyril, but he's not someone I'd want to be around. So he's an E tier. Next up is Geralt. You know, who doesn't want to see an old man who hasn't aged for 40 years? This guy is like the JoJo writer, Araki, This man will not age. So I'm gonna put him in D tier mainly because I want to hear about him. He probably has a lot of interesting and funny stories. Plus, he's just kind in general. Now again, he's old. So what are the chances that I can laugh and joke, and he still gets the jokes? You know, he's probably out of date. Next up is Roya. I feel like for the same reasons as Geralt, I'm gonna put him in D tier, but because actually, see, this is the thing. If we're talking about Crimson Flower Rhea, she's an F tier. If we're talking about Silver Snow Rhea, she goes like all the way up to C or B tier for me. If we're talking Azure Moon, yeah, she's not existent. I'm just gonna keep her in like C or D tier. But if we're talking Verdant Wind Rhea, she basically never shows up, right? I'm gonna keep Rhea in D tier. Actually, everyone is just flocking to D tier. Damn. I mean, again, if she were Silver Snow Rhea, I'd put her in A tier. But in real life, let's think about it in real life. She has a lot of money, a lot of power. She's around people I do not want to be around. Plus, Setheth is probably going to be right next to her, right up her alley. So yeah, D tier for sure. Next up is Sothis. You know, if I had a lolly girl in my mind, you know, she doesn't have that much personality because she talks, right? She's sassy in the Japanese dub. I like Sothis, but I'm gonna put her in logo because we don't know shit about her. And she's just a lolly in your mind. You know, she's a fantasy girl. Like, if you're into lollies, Jesus, you need help. You probably see Sothis in your dreams. I will never forget the day where they announced Three Houses, and boom. I swear, the amount of Sothis hentai that just released in this world. Nah, man, she's a logo girl for sure. Next up, Cronia, F tier. Solon, F tier. This guy, F tier. Cornelia, F tier. Do I have to explain why they're F tier? I don't think they need any explanation. Now they're F tier. This guy F tier. This guy F tier. Sylvain's brother, probably an asshole. Like if I was friends with Sylvain, I'd probably hate his brother. But his brother is a freaking drama machine, so I'm gonna raise him up to E tier. I definitely want to listen to him without getting on his bad side. Next up is Dark Knight. I do not like Dark Knight. He's just a psychopath. Flame Emperor is Edelgard, F tier. Oops, spoilers. Teehee. Anna, Money, F tier. This guy, F tier. Dark Knight, once again, F tier. Actually, go next to your knight, and let's put Edelgard's thing next to her. Alright. Rodrigue. You know, since Felix is an asshole, Rodrigue rounds up to be C tier. He's definitely a father I want to listen to. Maybe help him get along with his son. But that's it. That's like this. That's the limit. Plus, he's good with Dmitry. So, yeah. Judith, a little old, so we probably won't understand each other much. But she's a good person. Plus, she's good with Claude. For the same reasons as Rodrigue, I'm going to put her in D tier. So Dmitry is in B tier, so Rodrigue is in C, but Claude is in C, so yeah, Judith is gonna take her place in D tier. Am I saying a lot of words? Yes, it's because you see characters I don't care about, I want to skim past them. This guy, F tier. Arundel, F tier. You're basically, I swear, how many characters are getting the same shit? Yes, Nemesis is also an F tier. Now, do I want to meet the warrior Rhea? No, F tier. Edelgard's father looks fucking ugly, F tier. Ferdinand's father, F tier. Felix, F tier. Lambert, good guy, my man. I definitely want to listen to him, but it's mainly because of Dmitry. Sure, Lambert says one line max. Actually, never mind. He's going to E tier because he's a king, right? I'm not gonna meet this guy in real life no matter how hard I try. This guy, F tier. Ladislava, F tier. This guy, F tier. Jesus, how many filler characters are there? They're just all bad and horrible with no personality. and their personalities are like very dull. Jesus, the F tier just expanded, tripled, or like quadrupled all of a sudden. Damn. So now we reached the post time skips. Actually, before I do the post time skip, let's get into the Ashen Wolves. Yuri, very interesting. He's probably the main reason Bernadetta talks about friends and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna put him in B tier. He tried to kill Bernadetta, but he hesitated because, she's a friend and that kind of stuff. I'm gonna put him in B tier. Plus, unlike the others, he's secretive in a good way. He's very open, and he always focuses on the bigger picture, which is, in general, a good thing. Happy, she wants people to entertain her. She doesn't entertain others. I don't like that. How, she yawns and then a monster appears. I'm assuming in real life, if she yawns, her father just appears out of the grave and shoots you to death. I don't know, man. It's just, she comes off to me as this very elitist person. Even though she's not a noble, even though she's against the idea of a noble. Yeah. Self-entitled. Double standards for sure. Constance. Who doesn't like listening to someone who wants to restore their houses? Who doesn't like someone who has mood swings? Like, she goes from very braggy to very apologetic. I think I like that. I'm gonna put Constance in A tier. Next up is Balthus. Listen, man, I don't like gamblers. Sure, I play gacha games, but this man ignores good advice. He's always fighting. I don't think I'm safe around this guy. Alright, let's look at the post-time skip units. Edelgard doesn't change much, stays where she is. Post-time skip Dmitry definitely improves, so I'm gonna put him in A tier. Maybe even S tier, but I'm gonna keep him in A tier. Claude, post-time skip. Assuming you're Byleth, he's good. If you're not Byleth, definitely F tier. He's just shit. Plus, he's a king. You're never gonna see him. Hubert remains F tier. Now, again, the reason I'm not moving Edelgard and Hubert is because they don't improve. So, yeah. Even if they became bad, for example, Claude, he gets his authority and does his shit right. He goes down to F tier because I don't like him as a king. Again, unless you're Byleth, what are his gimmicks? What are his tricks? He's not really a smart guy. Ferdinand is already S tier. I can't put him above S tier, can I? For meme's sake, I'm gonna keep him there. Bernadetta, too. She deserves that spot. Next up, Linhardt. Does post-time skip Linhardt improve? Definitely C tier. Caspar, I don't think he improves. I think he stays the same, so he's gonna stay in D tier. Post-time skip Dorothea definitely fixes the situation where creepy men approach her, and she's definitely what we call a girl boss, so she's gonna go to A tier. Again, all the problems that pre-time skip Dorothea had are solved, or at least my kinds of problems. Obviously, you're gonna think to yourself, wow, Raisa, are you really gonna raise someone 2 tiers because they solved their own problems? Why didn't you solve their own problems? Man, excuse you. If I, for example, wear bad clothing, right? People's general perception are gonna be like, oh, this guy isn't clean, or oh, this guy is just wearing super old shit. He needs to get new stuff. Man, I'm just saying. If I saw a poor guy, I'd help him, but I'm not poor. So if I wore bad clothing, very old, ripped up clothing, and it smells bad, what is my excuse? You know that? And that's the same thing what's happening to Dorothea. She's very hard to approach because of bad people. And you can't really solve that. takes time. That's why Dorothea is in C tier. I'm just being logical. I'm just being realistic. Like, yes, Dorothea is someone who, if you remain friends for a long time with, it improves. Like, again, I really like that she's open for conversations. I really like that she's open for constructive criticism. Pre-time skip, Dorothea admires, like, Edelgard, admires Byleth. But post-time skip, if you recruit her in other routes, you start to see how, yeah, she can admit that her past beliefs were wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna keep Dorothea in A tier. Petra, I feel like she doesn't change much in post-time skip, so she's gonna stay where she is in A tier. Dedu, he's already in S tier. Remains S tier. Felix was F tier. I guess he learns to apologize, so I'm gonna keep him in E tier. Ash doesn't change, he remains where he is. Sylvain, post-time skip, owns up to his mistakes, and he definitely becomes a better person. S tier for sure. Mercedes already is in S tier. Post-time skip, Annette is very nice. Plus, she gets better in what she does. Obviously, her cooking and daddy issues are still there, but yeah, she's definitely a one-up version, more mature version of Annette. Ingrid, she's already in S tier. She doesn't become bad. Now, this is gonna sound like a stretch. I know Lawrence is in E tier, but I think post-time skip Lawrence deserves A tier. Listen, I love a poet. I love people who are confident about themselves. I like people who apologize. I like people who are open to constructive criticism. I am definitely a fan of people who criticize others. I'm a fan of someone who doesn't want to, lie, even if it's hard to say the truth. I think Lawrence deserves the A tier. Like, if it weren't for his creepy behavior, creepy behavior in the past, he'd be an S tier right now, but yeah, I think he's gonna remain A tier. Now, if and only if we had like a second time skip, Lawrence would be S tier, but yeah, I'm gonna keep him in A tier. Raphael, I don't feel like he improves. He remains the same place. Ignatz, post-time skip, goes up to B tier. I like how he no longer needs others to do what he wants to do. I like that he no longer feels shackled by his family. I feel like he's definitely a more braver, more mature person. I'm honestly glad for him. I hate how people shit on Ignatz in this fandom. But yeah, if this weren't a in real life tier list, I'd put Ignatz around A or S tier. I just like his character. Post-time skip Lysethia. She was F tier, but she improves. I'm gonna put her in D tier. Mainly because she learns to apologize and stops being a bitch. But she's still a bitch. Marianne. See, this is the problem with Marianne. I had no issues with her. I guess her post-time skip is a one-up version. But it's not like, it's easy to talk to her. It's not like it's easy to approach her. It's not like she's gonna make, a sudden impression on you. Again, unless you have a horse, she's S tier because she's gonna be around you 24/7. But what are the odds you have a horse? Hilda, A tier. Now hear me, actually never mind, I'm gonna go B tier. Now hear me out. She's strong, she still talks about drama. She starts doing what she wants to do. She's definitely fun to be around, and it would be very funny to listen to drama in real life, like in real time as well. Like, she's just a network machine. I like this one. Actually, never mind. She goes to A tier. Next up is post-time skip Leonie. Does post-time skip Leonie improve? Yes, I definitely think she deserves a C tier. Now, Cyril, he was in E tier, but hear me out. I'm gonna put Cyril either in A tier or B tier. He is one of the few characters he is one of the few characters who does not complain about his current standing. He doesn't complain about what life gave him. Unlike Lysethia, unlike some characters in general, yes, you're a victim of a tragedy, but he accepts it. He's like, yeah, so what? Let's just move on. Let's just do something. Let's find something to do. And I really like that. Plus, he's kind, he's nice. Now, if Cyril ages up any further, I'm definitely gonna put him in S tier, but for now he remains in B tier because, you know, he still needs to mature more, even though he's like already more mature than half of this tier list. Yeah, I like Cyril. And yeah, that is all. All these characters that remain are just characters who'd be in the same tier, so damn, Fire Emblem Three Houses, you take a while. Unlike your other version, which was Shadows of Valentia. Anyways, a lot of people in S tier this time. A lot of people in A tier. Not much in B and C. I think this just goes to show either I like you a lot or I dislike you a lot. There's just no balance in between. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope this wasn't a waste of time. Will I make a different tier list later? Possibly. Maybe, actually. Shadows of Valentia was first because it was definitely shorter. This one, geez, it took a while. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. See ya.